Welcome back, pilots, to another exciting episode here at Hangar 4 RC. Today, we're going to be doing a review of the Foxtech Skyzone Ready to Fly combo, or the Skyzone FPV combo, which comes with the goggles, a transmitter, and a camera. Supposedly, it comes with everything you need, minus batteries for everything. We bought this directly from Foxtech, so it's being shipped over from China. Tianjin, can't pronounce it, somewhere in China. Or People's Republic of China. Either way. So, they don't ship batteries over. Weird thing, I don't know, don't understand it. So, we're going to go ahead and open up the box here, get everything going for you. So, for right now, just to show you, here's the box for the goggles. This is going to have your dual diversity FPV multifunction fucking setup. Your transmitter, which I tore the box a little bit trying to figure out how to open it and realized the bottom slides out. And your camera. So, let's go ahead and get everything out of the box, show you what we got. Alright guys, something I wanted to show you here before we get started. The instructions for the transmitter and the camera look like this. One side is written in Chinese or Mandarin, don't know. The other side is in English. Now, it really doesn't tell you much. It is absolutely, in a sense, worthless on how to hook up the camera. All you know when you open the box is it comes with a DIY cable that goes to the back of the camera and a AV one that has AV jacks on the end, and little plugs that plug into the back of the camera along with a little circuit board, which is not pictured here. So, these instructions, absolutely worthless. For the goggles, it obviously a little bit better. It's a little cute little book. Tells you everything that comes in the box. Explains what everything is, how everything works, in a sense. And then it shows you the channel and band readout, plus corresponding beeps for said bandwidth or said channel. And here in the very back, it tells you channel 1 with band frequency, channel across top, bandwidth down here. It tells you what it's all transmitting at, what frequency it's transmitting at, like how many millihertz or whatever the hell that is, with sensitivity, antenna ports. It shows you all that technical information. So that way, if you're using another brand's setup, like another brand's transmitter, you know what channel it's on, because they typically come with a little readout chart that tells you channel 1 is this frequency, channel 2 is this frequency, channel blah blah blah, and so on, till they run out of channels. You can go on here, figure out, okay, this one works on, 5,860 meters. Yeah, that's right, meters. That's all meters. It's all ham radio stuff. So you just look through here. Oh, here's 500 or 5,860 meters. Here, your channel 7 frequency or bandwidth 4, channel 7. Click there. You should see a picture. Same thing down here. It tells you operating powers, AV port powers, ohms, sensor, everything. And then also over here, it tells you about that front camera that it comes with. Tells you display setup, brightness, contrast, how everything works, in a sense. It doesn't give you a real detailed readout, but definitely something you want to hang on to just for those frequencies and bands and everything on here to tell you what meters you want to put, you're looking for to match up with other stuff. So let's go ahead and get this stuff all unpacked for you, show what we got. We're going to go ahead and put the transmitter and camera on a plane setup so we can show you how our setup looks and how it works, and we'll be going from there, guys. Alright, we got everything out of the box. Obviously you don't see the transmitter or the camera up here because we already have it set up to a canopy to go on our T-28 Trojan from Park Zone, which is right here, which will be replacing Barbie. Yes guys, Barbie flies a plane and she flies topless. So as you saw before, we were setting up the Fat Sharks on another Trojan setup. It's a very, very stable platform, guys. We use it to do all kinds of testing, training, teaching, learning. It's extremely stable, extremely predictable, so that's why I chose this plane to go with. So, back to our Skyzones. Now, you got your 32 channel diversity headset with your cheapo antennas, you know, not very high speed, low drag, but they do work. You've got your battery connector that plugs into the side over here on this side of the goggles. This plugs in, you can run it down to a battery that plugs into a pocket, which I have right here. This little guy is enough to power the goggles and plugs in right through the port. I just happen to have one of those to use, but we're not going to be using that battery for the headset. We went on to Horizon Hobby or Fat Shark's website and actually purchased their FPV goggle battery. It was 20 bucks and it plugs right in and works phenomenally with the headset here. It's the exact same battery for the Fat Sharks. So Fat Shark battery works with Skyzone. So you also have your head tracking for Spectrum, I believe JR, maybe not. Your setup for, I believe this is for Futaba. I'm not sure what this is for. Maybe this is JR radios. Either way, it comes with all the cables. It also comes with a video out on the bottom of the goggles here, guys. You've got all these little ports here. AV out. You plug this in there, click, and then you run your old school AV cables to a TV, a DVR, whatever, or a screen, so somebody else can watch as you fly. It'll move everything outside for you. Now, moving along here, these go with the camera. This one comes pre-installed or pre-clicked into the camera. So you run it out and you hook up to, I guess, an old set of wires or old school setup or something. I'm not really sure. Or maybe they meant it to be plugged right into a DVR. Don't know. Either way, that comes pre-set up. We can't use it, so we didn't set it up. Then you also have a control board. You can go into the camera itself. The camera itself has a menu in it. You can actually go through, select different settings, different functions. We're going to be playing with that here a little later. And then this came with the receiver. I believe it came with the receiver. It's got a couple of old school plugs, or different style plugs than what we use. So those won't be used, extensions, things of that nature. So, with everything already set up, to show you how we have it set up, and what we had to do, the transmitter, or the camera, I'm sorry, this is it. This is what we got here, guys. We got our 32 channel transmitter that transmits back to our 32 channel diversity. So it's got two receivers in here, headset. So, you know, you got your channel or your channel frequency, which all shows up here. This number will be your frequency. Second number will be the channel you're on. Comes with this whole mess of wires that we just poked a hole through, shoved the power cable through, which is that little red cable again, where we're going to be using that little battery. And it comes out and it hooks, and it comes out to that style of plug. It comes out to a normal servo plug. The camera came with a DIY cable set, which I soldered in to an old servo extension that plugs right in. And guys, I'll tell you what, it worked great. And then you got your little lens cap for the camera here, for your 2 megapixel camera. And all we did was we hot glued it onto the base plate for our GoPro mount here. So that's literally held on with hot glue. And then double-sided tape for the transmitter. And it, as you see, it has a little goofy antenna, just like the headset. Not really impressive. We're not expecting to get a lot of range or anything out of it. We're not expecting a lot from it. You just always put that on just finger tight, and I always roll it so it sticks straight up. So, to get into this a little bit more, Foxtech has gone and come out with their own setup. A lot of people say that they took the Fat Shark goggles and improved them. And some people don't like it. They say it's stealing, that they didn't come up with their own design. But if you think about it, guys, everything's the exact same. Somebody got the idea, made it, somebody copied it and changed it just a bit so there's no copyright infringement, blah, 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 blah. And we digress and move on. So, with your headset here, everything screws on. We're going to be going over everything here in just a minute. So the antennas screw on, roll up, click up. Screw on, click up. Now, the nice thing about these compared to the Fat Shark is you got a camera button here, which goes to the camera here in front. So you click this and you can see what is in front of you. Now given, yes, there's no depth perception, but you are able to see what's kind of going on a little bit. If you want to, you could even potentially take off this way and then just reach up, click the button. If you're using this on an airplane, a quad rotor, blah, 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 whatever. Now, if you are using a camera with sound, guys, sound, you can turn up the volume, you can plug in a headset, ear out, which is down here. You plug in your headphones, and you control the volume all right here, down, up. So if you're flying, you can hear the motor cut off, or you can hear the motor start oscillating, or whatever. Or if you got, like, you know, crazy music playing from the plane, loud enough that that speaker on the camera or wherever can pick it up, and you want to listen to it, by all means. Then you got your band channel, or your band changer, and your channel changer. This all comes back to the transmitter. When you power this on, you'll have two numbers here. It'll be like 1-1. I think when it first comes set up, it's frequency 1, channel 1. So it'll read 11. Now, what a lot of people I seem to find are confused about is it, you know, channel 11, like as you start clicking through? No. You have a handful of frequencies that you can click through and a handful of channels you can click through. So, if you want to be on, like if you go through and you're picking up somebody else's signal on frequency 1 all the way through channels 1 through 8, you click over, this will read 2, and this will be whatever number you left it on. So it'll be 2, 1. Which here, let's get a battery. The battery we are going to be using. Go ahead and plug that in, show you what we got here. As you can see here, it came preset on channel 13 or 13, but in reality it's frequency 1 channel 3, which I can change frequency 2 channel 3, frequency 3, 4, and back to 1. And then for the channel, we're on channel 3, you can go all the way up to channel 8 and it rolls back to 1. Now the headset is set up the exact same way. When you power on the headset and you start changing the band, you click the band button, you'll hear a beep. And it'll beep, so if you're on channel 1, it'll beep once. If you're on channel 8, it'll beep 8 times. If you're on band 1, it'll beep once. Band 4, it'll beep 4 times. And you go through that way. Now, if you're going to set up head tracking, you plug in your tracking out here. So for us, we'd be using this one. This here clicks into the bottom. It's kind of keyed, so where's the key? Click in. Come on. Oh, there we go. Just got to pay attention. She clicks in, plugs into the back of the radio in the trainer port, and you set it up that way. And then for tracking, you just click here. It zeroes out, it calibrates everything, and now if you have head tracking gimbal set up wherever, now as you turn your head, the camera moves. So up, down, left, right. So this has a gyro in there, so as you turn left or right, look up or down, the camera will do the same. Did we hook everything back up? No, we did not. So, go ahead, unplug here. Don't want any kind of crazy power surges. Now, yes, we realize this is a lot of wire to be having here. This will be getting changed out to a different setup. We're going to be actually using our GoPro on this one. We have a cable here, we have an actual GoPro specific cable that we got from Immersion RC that we're going to be using on this. So for right now, we just wanted to show you what the combo comes with. So we got that hooked up. Let's hook the battery back up. Let's get the headset on a little bit. And all I did was Velcro on the underside here so everything sticks. All these wires will get tucked up underneath the plate here. Pull the lens cap off. Let's grab our receiver battery. Plug it in. Powers up. The beep tells you it's all set and ready. And then let's see if I can get this in here. And you're probably not going to be able to see this. Let's see. Oh, there. Kinda. Yeah, you're probably not going to be able to see much. We definitely need to get a better camera here. But you can kind of see the color change. Camera don't like it very much. Whatever. But as you can tell, this plugs in here. The one downside that we did find is the battery pocket is on this side. Is where the battery plugs in on the other side. So we may end up having to figure something out to figure out how to stretch it over here or just tuck it in here, whatever. We're going to figure something out. Now to change, go through and change, let's unplug everything. To change your camera filter, as in your brightness, your contrast and everything, it's this little guy up here. This little guy, little button. You click it forward and backwards for light and darkness, for your brightness. So if it's too bright, you click it one way or the other. I believe it's down or towards your forehead to darken it, away from you to brighten it, and contrast, it's left and right. If it's you want more contrast, you go to the right. If you want less contrast, go to the left. Now, with this whole setup came this awesome case. Now, to show you a comparison between Skyzone / Foxtech and Fat Shark, case comparison. Here. Fat Shark has a smaller case, and it's a little bit more cramped with everything in here. In here, a lot more fits. You get a lot more room. It's easier to store everything. You're not having to cram everything into the bag to make it fit. So guys, this is our setup. As soon as we get a way to record, so you guys can actually see what the camera sees on this setup, which we may end up just using our other Trojan transmitter over here. As you can see, this one's all set up with the Fat Shark. We just change out the receiver or transmitter to a higher powered transmitter and a different camera, but that setup is Immersion RC. But we have played around with the Fat Shark transmitter right here, and this will work with this. The Fat Shark, the Immersion, every FPV brand that's 5.8, these goggles will receive them. Same with the transmitter. The transmitter will transmit to every frequency in 5.8 gigahertz to everything. So this receiver or transmitter works with the Fat Shark receivers or the goggles, as where the Immersion RC stuff, the Fat Shark stuff, all work with Foxtech. Foxtech with this setup is phenomenal. It works with everything. You've got your little adjusters here so you can line them up like they're binoculars. So little things in here slide back and forth so you get a better picture and you don't come out of this looking cross-eyed. Fat Shark really went one step beyond with this one. I really enjoy this setup a lot more than I have the Fat Shark setup. This one is a much cleaner, clearer picture, even with their basic camera that they send out with the setup. But hey, that's just my opinion. Everyone else has a different opinion. John likes his Fat Shark a lot more than he enjoys the Skyzones. We've had these now for a few days, so there's a little bit of a time lapse here in the video, guys. from the time we did the unboxing to now, because we set everything up and we flew it a little bit just to see how it works. We knew what kind of to talk about. So this is the setup, guys. Now remember, if you purchase this, which I would say is a good idea. I think this is a great setup. It is on the expensive side. It's about $100 more than the Fat Sharks, but you know, you pay for what you get. If you're paying nothing for an FPV setup, you're probably not getting a good quality product. As where it doesn't necessarily mean you can pay thousands of dollars and have the best equipment out there. You actually may end up with the shittiest equipment out there, where some dude that only paid, you know, $300, $400, $500 for his, which seems to be a pretty average price, has a much better performance and enjoys his equipment a lot more than the guy that spent, you know, thousands upon thousands for a basic setup. Now, some things we are going to do, are these antennas, whatever, they are going to get switched out to cloverleafs. We've done a lot of research. The Fat Sharks we have running a cloverleaf on it, and this will be switched out to a cloverleaf. It's so we don't get as much reflection off of buildings, cars, other, you know, stuff on the frequency. We're going to swap those out so we can get a little bit better range and everything. Now, one thing I forgot to mention was this transmitter is a 600 milliwatt transmitter. Or at least Foxtech markets it and everything as a 600 milliwatt transmitter. From what I've seen, because obviously I don't have testing equipment to test it to find out if it's really putting out 600 milliwatts. I've watched several videos where guys hook this stuff up and they're only really getting about 4, I think the highest I've seen was some guy got 450, 500 milliwatts out of it. Another guy only got 2, but he was using a single cell battery. I don't know. Do we think we're getting 600? No. Do we hope we're getting 600? Yes. Now, the immersion RC setup we have on our other Trojan, that one is a 600. The guy at the hobby store where we bought it from, which I don't remember which hobby store we got it from, actually hooked it up for us and showed us, hey, this is actually pushing 600 milliwatts. Now, technically, guys, 600 milliwatts, you need a ham radio operator license to use, because it can actually brown out or take over certain bands where you can't transmit on them, and the FCC gets all pissy about it because you can actually block communications for police officers, fire departments, EMTs, things like that. Which is another reason you don't really want to do this in the city running 5.8, because it is almost a ham radio or UHF, or it's a radio frequency is all it really is. So, with that all in mind, guys, this is what we have. As soon as we get a video of it flying for you, we'll have it up. But for now, guys, enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.